I, 22M, feel like I'm losing my mother, 50F. To her husband, 23M. No, that's not a typo. My mother married someone who's a year older than me. She's a professor at a prestigious university here in the United States. He was her student during his freshman year and quickly became one of her favorite students. After he completed her class, their relationship quickly turned into a romance. My mother kept it quiet for over a year before I unexpectedly came home one day and saw him sitting on the couch. A month after learning of their relationship, he proposed to her. They married in the fall of 2017. I reluctantly attended to support my mother. Shortly after the wedding, she became pregnant. They welcomed a daughter in September of 2018 and another in November of 2019. From the moment I met him, I was not a fan. He comes from a privileged family. He's also a very intelligent individual. Two things that are clearly a recipe for a very successful life, which he already has at 23. He is currently pursuing his master's degree while working as a VP at his family's financial institution. After his father, he is next in line to run the entire business. I have no problem acknowledging his success and applaud him for his hard work, especially when he could just essentially live off his parents for free. However, he has made it his duty to notify my mother of his concerns about my own life. She would never admit it, but based on comments she's made and changes in her personality since hooking up with him, he has basically told her to stop supporting me and my non-college educated lifestyle. I had an incredibly strong bond with my mother before he came along. My dad walked out of the picture when I was 3 and it had always been just the two of us. I knew she would eventually meet a guy and I truly wanted that for her. I just can't accept this guy and what he's done. I really try to look at the positives. I adore my little half-sisters. They are adorable and clearly make my mom happy. She always wanted a daughter and I'm happy she was able to get her wish at this point in her life. Aside from that though, I'm honestly heartbroken. Yesterday, we got into an argument on the phone pertaining this issue. I finally brought up my concerns about him and told her how I honestly felt about him. She immediately jumped to his defense and essentially told me that she will always side with him because he's her husband and cares for her more than anyone ever has. She confirmed many of my suspicions about him saying things behind my back, and instead of standing up for me, she defended what he said in a subtle way. My mother has made it clear she sides with her husband over me. I know that she still loves me deeply, but I feel that our relationship will never be the same. I have been having a very hard time since that phone call last night. I'm depressed and even a bit scared because my mom was always my go-to person. I have a stable job and am currently renting a room from someone, but if something terrible were to happen, I don't know what I would do. I don't have many friends and the few I do are also renting rooms or one-bedroom apartments, so I would have nowhere to go should something happen to my job. Even if my mother drastically changed, too many words were said that hurt me. Honestly, move on with your life. Build your own support system and start making a financial net slowly in case something ever happens. When mommy is in her mid-60s and unable to deal with 2 teenagers while hubby is too busy being a businessman, she's gonna remember of you and you can tell her to pound sand. Unfortunately, just like your father, she let you down. What's more likely to happen is new husband will leave her at some point, because he hasn't even hit his prime as a man. Whereas no matter how accomplished mom is, she'll be an old lady with 2 underage kids to deal with. I'm really hoping this is fake, because she has bigger problems on the horizon than Op does. Cold tea and Deb, this you lol. So I guess we've all spent this quarantine binging 90 Day. Imagine being the same age as your new dad, rip. No joke, and one that tries to parent you by proxy. My mom married a man 1 year younger than my brother and 1 year older than me. It was weird and he was a jerk. You can't change anything, she will always pick him over you. You might want to spend time with your mom outside the house without him. Take her to lunch. You can watch the kids. And don't even talk about him. When you're around him, just be polite, don't do anything to give him ammunition. Be independent, you really don't want to live with them anyway. Oh, and I wouldn't call him dad. My crush WHO usually ignores me, kissed me on the cheek. Hi, I'm so happy. I, 18F, am very ugly and weird. Also overweight and have autism. My crush, 16 meters, is much better looking. He is also very tall and handsome and gets a lot of attention since he's on the football team. I'm a senior and he's a junior. We started talking last week because he was visibly upset over something and I comforted him. He told me I'm the first person who actually cared to check on him. We have been talking ever since. Today he drove to my house because I left my hat at his job when I was ordering food yesterday. I hate Thanksgiving leftovers. I thanked him and he was walking back to his car. I stopped him because I wanted to tell him he looked handsome today. He had blushed and kissed me on the cheek, then he left. I have been so happy and ecstatic. A boy like that kissed a girl like me on the cheek. It is just wow. I'm not even sure I'm living in reality anymore. Should I text him? What do you think? Exclamation mark. Edit. We are in Georgia, guys. Age of consent is 16. Please stop making it seem like something is bad. We are both in high school and 1 grade apart. I think the most important thing here is, stop putting yourself down. Without too much enthusiasm, let him know that you were flattered. Don't gush, it might come across needy, but let him know you appreciated the gesture. It will let him know it's welcome, it's positive reinforcement, and it will reassure him that you're open to talking about it more. He might be just as unsure as you and maybe feeling insecure about your reaction. He sounds like a sweet and caring guy. I think try to be his friend first and make the next move. That way it's not overwhelming for him and you will also have a chance to know him better before asking him out. Good for you. First off, I doubt that you are very ugly. Most people aren't totally beau today, I fucked up. But most are at least mildly good looking. The most attractive thing is confidence and caring. It seems like you have the caring part taken care of, and it's okay to be confident. I've known many overweight people who were totally beau today, I fucked up. It's all about being strong in who you are. I'd say text him, and even if he just wants a friend, you can be proud of the fact that you took the step to reach out. Good luck. Nice. I'll let you know that I have autism too. If you wanna talk, just DM me. Also, you're not as ugly or as overweight as you think. Trust me on this one. Same, I also have autism. And I am also overweight. I'd give said person above is overweight, I just wanted to add that. I am also available for autism chat. We on the spectrum gotta stick out for each other, 3 especially us girls since we are harder to diagnose. Catfished hard and spiraling. Plus read and advise him begging. I, 24F, met a guy, 26M, on Tinder about a year ago, September 2019. We hit it off like never before and established a texting/FaceTiming relationship that rocked my freaking world. We had so much in common, we were both interested in the medical field, both went to the same undergrad. Same sense of humor, music taste, and overall compatibility, to which I thought of him as my soulmate. We talked for a week before making plans to meet up. Only which were cancelled by him after he found out his dad was in the hospital back in his hometown. Things took a turn for the worse and his father ended up passing away from a crazy rare infection. He was devastated and I consoled him for months. We continued to talk as he moved back to be with his family. Our relationship grew stronger and it thrived on open communication, honesty, and genuine care for each other. We talked all the time. In March 2020, right as COVID hit the US, he seemed to be entering into a bit of a depression. He talked to me less and seemed very overwhelmed with his life and his family. Very understandable for someone who just lost their dad and was entering a global pandemic, who had just transferred medical schools, right? On March 28th, he sent me a text saying his life was crumbling, it's so tough right now, and he needs some space. Okay, fair enough, I totally get it. I told him I would always be here for him. I have not spoken to him since. He has not reached out. For all I knew, he could have been dead. About a month ago he posted a screenshot of him listening to my favorite song, Soulmate by Mac Miller, which made me think that was directed towards me. I didn't interact with it because 1. I'm in a happy and loving relationship with a guy that I care about, so I've been trying to forget about him, and 2. He does not get to ignore me for 6 months and then just pop up out of nowhere listening to my favorite music. After that music screenshot incident, the thought of where he was lingered in my mind. happened when I came across a TikTok that was talking about a public record search website. I delved into some research, reverse searched his cell phone number, and some random 26-years/old guy's name popped up who lived in a different city than where he told me he was. One Facebook search later and there he is in his profile picture, dressed in a tuxedo, standing next to a woman in a wedding gown. Different name, different college, different hometown, different everything. Same person. Married to a person that obviously was not me. He lied about everything to me. I had been so open and honest about every aspect of my life, physically, emotionally, and sexually. I feel terribly betrayed and furious that I was so stupid to not just reverse search his stupid cell phone number when I first started talking to him. And did he really lie about his dad dying? Did I console a man for 6 whole months about a fake death? So here I am, Reddit. What do I do? Do I ignore it and just move on with my life and pretend it didn't happen? Do I call NeverTMTV? Do I send him a message and call him out? I obviously stalked his and his wife's wedding page as well. There is a bio that describes how they met and their 6-year relationship along with pictures and stories, and it just wrenches my heart because of what he did. If I were her, and my husband did this, I would never trust him again. Another option, this is for those who really want revenge, is to purchase an item off of their wedding registry and sign the card with the fake name he gave me. And just see if he puts 2 and 2 together. He has read it, so if he sees this, I'm pissed, dude. You didn't deserve me. You are not my soulmate. I would tell his wife. I would message her from a Facebook account that wasn't my own and send her screenshots of everything. I would answer any questions she had and then I would move on. Screenshot your messages and send it to the wife. That's what I didn't do. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. Tell the wife. Any evidence? She deserves to know. Edit. I'm deeply disappointed in the people saying that telling his fiancée would be revenge, or blaming Op and saying she's dwelling. The way I view it, she has a moral obligation to tell her woman to woman, because that poor girl deserves to know. He could find out now, or find out when she's in too deep. I would rather know now. Op realizes how shit this guy is now, clearly. Yes, it's him for sure because they FaceTimed. Don't think Op would talk to him after knowing what he's truly like. I don't see that as being the intention. She can't just avoid this, because she now knows the truth and the truth should be upheld. I was the fiancé in this instance once and I was very glad to know, even though I hated the woman who told me. I was so thankful. I'm so sorry that happened to you. You did not deserve that and I am happy you found someone else. However, I don't feel like he should just get away with that either. I would send a message to the wife with all the evidence. You don't need to be involved necessarily, but she deserves to know and he deserves to face the consequences of his actions. I think it'd be best for you and everyone else involved to block him from contacting you and move on. You don't want to risk hurting your current relationship by rehashing what could have been with a guy who's been lying the whole time.